If you can dream it, you can do it.
Hey, Dog Sands, Fool here. Welcome to Fancast. Today, my guest is the awesome and talented Hannah Arbitman. Hannah, thanks for joining us.
Mike, thank you so much for having me. I'm very excited to be on, and I've been watching your show for as long as I've been with the dogs, so super excited to finally be invited on. Thank you.
Oh, no, thank you for being here. I appreciate that. We're going to talk dogs, but before we do, I want to kind of find out your journey, what got you to this point. So, was working in sports your original goal? Kind of give us a primer as to how you got here.
Sure. So I think I initially wanted to be a PE teacher going into college. Yes. And then when I committed to school, I was actually in college playing volleyball. They told me that program was getting cut and my next best thing was sport management. So from there, I kind of pivoted and took it to international business and sport management, but knew in the back of my head that I definitely wanted to be in the sports scene. So my freshman year of college, I started working with the Chicago Blackhawks.
Wow.
It was a fan event and experience team. So basically what you see Dog Squad doing, just with the Chicago Blackhawks.
Wow.
And obviously from there, I saw Jenna Rose, knew that that's what I wanted to pursue as well. Auditioned for the Dogs as soon as that season had ended, didn't get it. And then it came back the following season, and here we are.
All right. Well, so speaking of hockey, I know that you actually have quite a bit, or you work quite a bit in the world of hockey. Can you tell us about Gold Star hockey and then the 2023 NHL draft and then the Chicago Wolves? I know you do some work for them too now.
Yeah. So I work as a sports assistant for Gold Star hockey, which basically means that I answer anything that's thrown my direction that I can handle and is manageable. The NHL draft, I was there. That was sort of my interview with Gold Star, so to say.
Okay.
I did a lot of translation work for players and was just there kind of soaking it all in. So it was a very cool experience.
What aspects of your play do you think you can bring to the Avalanche organization?
Над какими аспектами своей игры ты больше всего гордишься и что ты можешь привести к команде?
Я атакующий защитник, наверное, помогу команде в зоне атаки и в обороне могу играть в шесте, и также могу помочь в большинстве.
He says he's an offensive defenseman, so he can play on the penalty kill and be really helpful there and get some time on the power play and help the team win.
And then with the Chicago Wolves, I'm also their in-game host, so nothing that kind of requires my hockey knowledge on that part, but I love being in a hockey setting.
Yeah. Now, can you quickly go back to that? So when you said translation, and it's is it which language are you translating?
Russian.
Russian. Wow.
Yeah.
And then so obviously you speak fluent. Were you do you have Russian heritage?
Yeah. So my parents immigrated from the Soviet Union in the late 90s, and then I was born here.
Okay.
But culturally, our family stays very Russian, and we follow a lot of that tradition. So, yeah.
Let's talk dogs. Okay, Hannah, when did you first hear about the dogs, the team in general, and then how did you land your job working for them?
So I actually heard about the dogs for the first time at a sports business conference in college.
Oh.
Really thought nothing of it too much. And then I saw a post that they were looking for an NBA host. So I auditioned again, didn't get that job. And then the following summer, I actually called and said, hey, I'm looking for an internship if you guys have anything available. We were talking about internships. And then I said, but if you're looking for an in-game host, I would love to try that.
Okay.
So that's kind of how they brought me on.
Now, did you have to do a tryout for that? How did that work?
Yeah, so I sent in like my highlight reel at that point with hosting. I didn't have too much experience. Actually, I had no experience. At that point, I did have some journalism experience. I had NHL accreditation, so I was doing post-game hits with Russian-speaking players in the NHL. So that kind of brought me up in the sense of speaking and being okay to talk on camera, but definitely not in front of a crowd of like 8,000 people. So that was a learning curve, and that's something that I definitely had to adjust to pretty quick.
Speaking of that, do you ever get nervous, or are you kind of used to it now, or you still get nerves before a game?
I wouldn't say I do. I think I don't. I want to think I don't. Yeah, I'm in theater as well, so theater kind of helps with those nerves. I think I was thrown on the stage for the first time probably around 2 or 3 years old.
No.
So it doesn't feel unnatural, but I think the first several games I was kind of getting into the groove of things and didn't really know what was going on and was just trying to take it all in. But I mean, as time went on, it just became like home. I really think of it as you're hosting, not fans. You're at home, you're just hosting people to your house, right? So like you're just inviting people over for dinner. That's kind of my way of going about it.
Yeah.
And that hospitality aspect and just obviously the entertainment aspect. So it really just fires me up.
Well, you do a fantastic job. We love watching. Let's kind of get into the nitty gritty of the work. I assume your tasks or your schedule is kind of scripted in advance. So how does that work? Do you do that, or do you and a team get together and kind of script the game? And have you ever had to adjust on the fly for that?
So we have had to adjust on the fly. Obviously, when there were games that were going into extra innings or like 14 innings or however many it was, 16, sorry. That's kind of where we think on the fly and make up things as we go. But I give credit to everybody on Dog Squad and the entertainment staff and Meredith and Eric, who do a wonderful job of scripting the game. I have no part of it. I just come in, they tell me what's going on that game, and I kind of run with it.
Well, I know you never stop moving at all. I think you're the busiest, even more than the players. You're the busiest person in the whole stadium. On a typical 6:30 p.m. start, that's most of the games start there. Can you describe a typical work day for yourself, like a pregame? What time do you get there during the game? How kind of a step-by-step so fans can know. Like I said, again, you're just a blur. Tell us exactly how you kind of get there from the beginning through the work day that you do.
So I try to get to the stadium about 2 hours before first pitch. That doesn't always work for me just because I'm chronically late. But I definitely try my best to be there 2 hours in advance. As soon as I walk through the gates, I kind of just mingle with everyone. So mingle with people until we do our pregame hit, and then it's first pitch like half an hour later. So I kind of just hang out either somewhere in the press box, somewhere in the ballpark, or by the dugout, waiting for it all to begin.
And then you go around with, it looks like you've got your cameraman and kind of the crew with you. Is that how it works? You get your team together then, and they kind of say, okay, Hannah, this, we'll do this, then we'll do this, then we do this.
So I'll actually kind of talk about that a little bit more. At the very beginning of the season, I had no baseball sense whatsoever. So it took me a few games to figure out what a home run was. Like, I'm talking, I had zero baseball knowledge whatsoever. So at all times, I had obviously the cameraman with me, Eric, who was in charge of the promotional team, and the promotional interns. So there was probably a group of like 4 of us walking the ballpark at the same time. And that obviously really helped because they had me being like, okay, you're on in an inning. And I was like, what does that mean? They're like, one more. Like, okay, now you're good. So yeah, there's usually a few of us moving around. There's usually people with me, and that really helps too. Just because when I'm trying to move around, people stop and talk. And as much as I love to talk, I have to get from one place to the next.
Sure.
And there's often times where I'm sure you've seen me like sprinting, the camera turns on, and I'm kind of still huffing and puffing. But it's super fun. I love the fast pace of it and just how much energy there is around it. It's something really special.
Yeah, folks, if you haven't seen Hannah, once she'll be in the behind home plate, and then the next half inning she's out in center field doing the battle balls, and you must know all the secret tunnels.
I hope I do. I feel like I should at this point. Not sure.
That's funny. And then now for the post-game interview, you're always doing that as well. You'll take whoever's the star player of that game. Do they give you those kind of a quick overview? Are you in contact with the production crew, the director? Okay, this guy went 3 for 5 with 2 homers or something, and then you're able to ask the question.
Absolutely, and they're awesome in the press box. There's an earpiece at my ear in all times during the game.
Okay.
So kind of bottom of the 8th is when they'll tell me, here are the stat lines. This is what you need to know. This is your player of the game. Here is like a question that you could ask even sometimes. So they're very helpful, and they definitely helped me adjust to the game of baseball itself. So just really thankful to have them there.
Okay, Hannah, we're going to try a little game that we've done here on the show before. It's called If I Ran the Dogs.
Okay.
Just a couple silly questions here. So if you ran the dogs, what food or drink items would you add to the menu?
Cotton candy. I don't know why they don't have it. I can't say I'm a huge fan of it. I just feel like it's such a ballpark food.
Yeah.
That it needs to be on the menu.
We don't have cotton candy? I think you're right.
So.
Wow. I don't remember seeing candy there. All right. Let's make that happen. How about any new theme nights?
Any new theme nights? Yeah. So I am not a Swiftie.
Okay.
But I do think Taylor Swift is a hot topic right now. So I would love to see a Taylor Swift night. Would I dress up as Taylor Swift? Probably not. But I would love to see other people do it.
What are some of your favorite theme nights that we do have here at the Dogs?
Country night had to be my favorite.
Oh, no kidding.
Harry Princess night was really fun. I enjoyed that. I think it's so out there.
Yeah.
It's a fun one. And then Star Wars night, just because the energy in the ballpark was on another level. And I'm not saying that it's not on any other night.
Yeah.
But with setting the franchise attendance record.
Right.
And just
that's right.
Everything that was involved in that was incredible.
Here's a silly one. What would your walk-up song be? I know you said you're kind of not you're not a Swiftie, but I'm sure you'd like.
Oh, I have a good one. Best of Both Worlds by Hannah Montana.
Oh.
You know the one that goes, you get the best of both worlds. Then I'll take it slow. Then you rock out the show.
Very good. Very good. Well, you really led into my next question, which is, speaking of singing, I know you sang the national anthem at the Dogs game, and I believe it maybe the Wolves too. You've done it a couple times? No? Not yet?
Not the Wolves.
All right. Well, I know you sang at I think even on 4th of July last year. Can you tell us about that experience?
It was really cool. I started taking vocal lessons when I was in elementary school.
Oh.
After not getting a silly little chorus solo in 4th grade. And I was very upset about it. So my parents put me into music. That's been a pretty big part of my life. I was in collegiate choir as well. So I sing less now than I did, but I can every once in a while.
All right, Hannah. Well, this show is for the fans. And if you could, is there any special message or of encouragement or enlightenment that you can give to the fans out there?
To the Chicago Dogs fans, thank you for not only welcoming me with open arms, but also for supporting us along the way and for making the ballpark feel like home. We love you as much as I'm sure you love us, and the feelings are mutual, and I can't wait to see you guys in 80 some days. And remember, no ketchup.
Sorry. That's the number one. Oh, sorry, you caught me off guard with that one. Well, thank you for joining us, Hannah. If fans want to connect with you, how can they do that?
I'm on Instagram. It's Hannah Arbit. So that's HANNAHARBIT.
Okay. And then fans, remember to follow the Fool. I'm on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, obviously. Just search chidogfool, CHIDOGFOOL. And make sure to give this video a like and subscribe to the Fancast so you don't miss anything. And you know the deal. That's all that. Hannah, thank you so much for joining us here. I'm truly honored that you were here, and I'm looking forward to the season and seeing you again for sure.
Thank you for having me. I can't wait. Hey, Dogs fans, it's Hannah, and make sure you follow the Fool. Всем привет, это Hannah с Chicago Dogs, и не забывайте, follow the Fool.